Welcome back to AITV. Thank you to everyone who has been following us, especially here on YouTube, for all the new likes, the comments, the shares. It's been an awesome weekend. We also have more good news. We've recently partnered up with Oddworld Comics to bring the Bud to our Patreon as an exclusive for some of our higher level incentives. Also, we'll be cross-promoting with the Bud, and we'll also have some cameos and knuckle draggers at some point in time. I'm also working with Odd on some side stories, one-shot origin stories of some of the characters in Knuckle Draggers, as well as our side project, The Garden of Forever, which is also a side story for Knuckle Draggers. So, a lot of stuff brewing. The more support we get right now, the more likelihood that you'll start to see some of these concepts come to life in the next few months. Our big plan right now is to plot for a Kickstarter to help really push the Bud in the right direction, and then after that we will continue to advertise, continue to do the things we're doing virally, and hopefully create something that you all love. In the meantime, however, I had plans for this Monster Monday vlog. I was going to go a little bit more into the details of our Valkyries, which are the troop of supervillains, big bad guys, and our story arc number 1 of Knuckle Draggers. But instead, I figured I would go into a little bit of the background of what I've been doing for the last 5 years. Give you guys a little bit of insight into some of the stories that are also brewing in the background, especially the ones with other studios. I know I keep saying I'm going to plug them, so this is it. So I'm going to start off with a little shout out to Atlas Unleashed. They were the first bigger studio that helped get me published. I wrote a short story from a series that I've been working on for 5 years called Welcome to Woodrow Asylum. The short in their anthology Schizophrenia is called Static Lullaby, and has art from Shanti Tyrion. We've collaborated a few other times on some other projects, and probably will collaborate more, especially on bringing this story more to life. The short that exists now is about 8 pages long. There are other shorts as well that exist for the Woodrow Asylum anthology, and it is a big psychological horror, takes place in this asylum. All the stories integrate with each other, and eventually the Creative Alliance Media will be helping myself, Leroy Lopez, and Roger Price bring that series more to life. I have more artists and writers that are also very interested and willing to jump on the bandwagon for this story, so pretty excited about it. I'm not going to go into too much details about it right now. I'll drop a few links below where you can see some of the details that are brewing. Then, that was my first. You guys can see some of the other stuff. Not long after that, or I guess before that, really, I started my own website called SilentSoul.org. It was the first thing that I ever put together for the internet. I kept up with it barely, working 2 jobs at the time, and also doing comic book reviews for Project Fanboy. It was quite a ride, a lot of no sleep, so that was fun. However, this was the age of MySpace, so there wasn't a whole lot of traffic happening, and there wasn't a whole lot of reason to keep up with it, because I wasn't sure where I was going with this. But it did give me the chance to write and be inspired and meet other people who are also inspired by what I do, and eventually created our vampire character Rose, which you see a little bit of her behind me. This is a short story, prose illustrated kind of webcomic that you can find at immortalgothicangel.com. It's called Rose Against the Moon, and it follows our vampire lady. This one's more focuses on the people in the story than the monster, but it is a little bit of a highlight into the world that exists there, and a world that we plan on expanding on in the future, especially with this Patreon as well. And also that book will be available most likely in PDF format as an incentive for some of our higher level tiers on Patreon. So keep an eye out. I'll of course update the Patreon feed when that happens, and probably post a little bit of sample art and plug it pretty much everywhere. So, got a couple of studios there that I've mentioned. I've been working on and off with for like the last 5 years. Another one of those that has recently started to work out is CCP Comics. They are helping me with this sci-fi fantasy story, The Great Nothing. There are a lot of different alien races, just a lot of different in that world, so I definitely plan on highlighting it more in Monster Mondays as well as on our Weebly site, so stay tuned for that. I can't go into too many details about it right now, just because I don't have the details yet, but I am told that the first 10 pages are done, so we'll probably see an ashcan of that very soon, and it'll end up as a preview in some of our books, hopefully other books, but time will tell. So not long after CCP, Creative Alliance Media happened. I joined forces with PRM Comics to write the script for The Rise of Red Moon. This is their issue 1 that you can find right now on their website. I'll put a link below. The story is about a budding vigilante. She's a stenographer named Jane Armstrong and has these wicked, crazy dreams. And pretty much her world is not what she thinks it is. And come and check out the story, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's bananas. I did that with my mind. So that's a lot of the bulk of what I've been doing in the background. There are some other projects that I've been working on, mostly ghostwriting, freelance stuff. I've done other reviews for not just comic books, but video games, autobiographies, novels, novellas, etc. It's something that I like to do. It's something that people really appreciate. I like to be very constructive with my criticism, and it seems to work out. So, if you're ever looking to have some of your stuff reviewed or a spot lit, especially on the YouTubes and or our Twitter, our blog, which should be happening in the near future. I started an Ello, where I'm blogging a little bit there, but I haven't been keeping up with it too much lately. The writing has pretty much kept me in front of the computer, staring at it, wondering if it's staring back. It's not. Well, I covered all of that a lot quicker than I thought I would. That's about it. That's my little plug for today. I am going to go into more details with our Valkyries, as well as more of what we're doing with the Patreon and some of our next vlogs. You'll probably see those either later tonight or in the following days. Thank you again to everybody who's been following us, liking us, sharing us. Awesome. Keep doing it. We'll have more details about the Kickstarter probably in the next couple of weeks. We're hoping to start that in November. The idea behind that is mostly to find the financing to advertise and print more books for the Bud. So this will mostly be odds bag, but we'll be helping a lot as partners with our Agromania Inc. and his Oddworld Comics. So stay tuned for that. Should be pretty fun. And links will be below. Blah, blah, blah. Aspire to inspire, etc., etc. And I will see you all next time.